Well, all right now, everybody. How's it going out there, YouTube? I know you're here for the Dremel chainsaw sharpening, and we're going to get right into that. I don't want to have a lengthy introduction, but I'm going to kind of talk about everything. Now, this Dremel sharpening is something I did learn on YouTube, so I think it's okay to learn things on YouTube. I just don't like it when people go around and try to become someone else, and everything they say and do is something else that somebody else does, and it's not even your words or whatever. But I did learn this on YouTube. I think we all learn things from time to time, so anyways, there's other videos out there if you want to watch it, but I just got my Dremel. If you watch my channel, I've talked about it before, but sharpening these chainsaws is not a comfortable thing for me. It hurts my hands. If you don't wear gloves, I've cut my hands. You need to wear gloves. It hurts my chest to lean on this thing. It hurts my lower back to be cowered over this thing for 20 or 30 minutes. I'll be sweating. I mean, I was sharpening inside the other day, just right over here inside my house, and I was sweating, wringing wet by the time I was done. My back hurt, my wrist hurt, my hands hurt. It hurts everything. I don't like doing the hand filing is what I'm getting at. You know, you can write and tell me what I should do and whatever. I appreciate it, but my lower back gets sore when I lean over something and have my muscles tensed up for that long of a time, working real hard. My lower back starts hurting, and it'll ruin your day. So I just can't do it to myself anymore. You know, if you're out and you're trying to work and do firewood and be moving around, and then you have to stop and sharpen a saw, and your back gets all tensed up, it kind of just it's a pain in the back for the rest of the day. So I can't keep doing that to myself. I went ahead and I invested the money on a Dremel to get the machine to do the work for me. And this is going to be my first try. So that's the backstory. I'm uncomfortable doing this. I don't really have a vise or anything, but I use the tailgate. I mean, I know how to position myself. It's just not comfortable for me, okay? Enough said. It's a lot of work. It causes all kinds of aches and pains. But I found this Dremel there on Amazon, and I got a factory refurbished one, so it was a good deal. These things usually are like 60 or 80 bucks. I got it for like $45, and it came in a factory Dremel box labeled, and then it came in this hard case, and it's factory refurbished, but I mean, it is brand new. Everything is just in mint condition. So good deal, and I mean, I'm fine with that. I just need it to sharpen my chainsaw. Well, and if you ever have those odd jobs around the house, sometimes you just need a Dremel. Like, for example, I got a washer on my log splitter that I needed to hollow out. Like, say you got a washer and you just can't fit the bolt through it. It's barely not big enough. You can use a Dremel is the perfect thing you need to kind of get inside that washer and enlarge the hole a little bit, stuff like that. So occasionally you just come across other jobs where a Dremel is what you need. So it'll be good for other things, but I just needed it basically for my saw. So I went ahead, I got this one for 45 bucks, and I did get these, they're just some off-brand bits. I did save money on the bits. I mean, the brand is not, it's some Chinese brand, Nooklean, Nooklean. But these bits now, it comes 24 pieces, and it was like $4 or $5, and I couldn't say no. It also has 3 different sizes, which I liked. It has 5/32, 3/16 inch, and the 7/32. Now, I think the 7/32 is what you're normally going to use. But on a saw like this little 180 here, it's got tiny little chain on it. So the teeth are just tiny. I'm going to use one of these smaller size files. Now what I've seen some of the other people do on YouTube also is like when you get a 7/32 and after it's been worn down for a while, it gets thinner and thinner, and in the middle, I mean, it kind of dips in and you start losing the round file. It gets smaller. So as that file gets smaller, you can use that smaller file on your smaller chain too. I've heard people doing, but I think I'm gonna use one of these smaller bits. Now, the only thing on this chain is I think I had it out in the field, out in the wood yard with me one day, and I already ran a 7/32 file across it because that's what I had in my truck. So I'm just going to kind of test fit these and see what happens. I'm going to kind of fit them in the groove and see what looks the best because I've already ran a larger file through this chainsaw. Now, nobody's gonna catch this unless you really watch that channel a lot. But this saw has been, this is the one I cut through that walnut log, and it had mud on it, and I can show you the chain. It's down to itty bitty little tiny nubs, and I just decided since I got this tool and I can sharpen it probably real quick, and I need practice with the tool, I'm gonna practice for the first time on this little 180 with this torn up chain here. So I'm just going to try to practice, sharpen it one more time, and maybe I can get another use out of it. Now, this chain is one of these aftermarket chains, and it was really cheap. I got it on Amazon also, but it doesn't have the little line on the back of it that shows you the angle of where the teeth are supposed to go. And I like having that little line on my chain. It actually, I've sharpened quite a few saws by hand, and I'm used to it, but it's nice to have that angle there because you can lose that angle so fast, and sometimes the top of the tooth, the corner of the tooth will break off on you, and then you end up with a real sharp angle, and to try to get that angle back takes a long time. That's what I'm saying. When you're hand filing, it takes a long time to take all that metal out and bring that angle back down. But it's nice to have that line. This does not have that little line, so I just kind of got to eyeball it. But so that's kind of an introduction, and I've been kind of trying to help you and tell you some tips along the way. So I hope you're hanging with me and everything. From here on out, all I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to test fit this thing in here and try to find the right bit fitting in here, and then I'm going to do some sharpening. So maybe I'll move you in now and show you what these teeth look like. Now, I can already tell this is a 7/32 I put in here. It fits on there pretty good because I already ran that size through it, but I think I am going to downsize at least one size on the Dremel bit here, and we'll just get the filing on this thing once and practice up for my first time, get some use on it, and see how it does, and then follow along on the channel, and I'll take this thing out and cut with it one day. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning right now. My sleep schedule is all over the place. I do all kinds of crazy stuff. So I just want to get this video done, and I got time to do it. So we'll take this thing out and cut with it sometime. So stay tuned, and coming up in one of the next videos, I'll probably say, okay, now this is that chain I sharpened, and a few of y'all out there may remember what I'm talking about, but you may not, you may not. Well, if you're watching this, you will. But okay, so let me show you these teeth. All right, here's these teeth on this saw, and you can see they're getting pretty small here. It's hard to get that camera to focus, but like that tooth right there, that's pretty bad. You can see how it kind of has an angle on that back side. So that needs to have a new angle on it. I don't really have a pointing device right now, but you can see how the back side of that tooth, you can see that just doesn't look good. It needs to have a nice sharp angle on it. It's all jagged and everything right in there. But they're getting down pretty small, and kind of lost the angle on that one a little bit. Some of them are going to be smaller than others. But that's what this little chain's looking like now, and I'm just going to go through and try to give it one more sharpen, and then I'll test it one time out there just to see. See, the angle's kind of weird on that. It's not perfectly straight, but here's another one that's pretty bad. That's what those teeth look like. Let me see if I can get y'all set up with the camera and try to find a place where I can get comfortable and get the camera in there and get this done. All right, now, boys and girls, I'm just going to show from this angle. I'm not really going to zoom in on the tooth. If you know how to sharpen a chain, you know what to do. You just got to get that top angle corrected. and make sure that the working corner is good and that this top angle is good, and get the burrs out of the top and everything. And you can kind of see that come into shape, but I'm not going to zoom in on it right now and everything. I just want to get this done. So this is the smaller polishing bit out of that kit that I got. It's the smallest one, and this is a diamond bit is what they are. I guess they would all work. It says it's for chainsaws, but anyways, let's get going and see how this does. Now I do need to mark. I need to mark a link on this chain, or I can't remember. Some of my chains have a discolored link, and if your chains have an odd number of drive links, like if it's a 55 drive link or something, there's usually either 2 teeth in a row, or this chain right here. That's what I'm going to do. I got 2 links. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a cutting tooth and then 2 blank spaces here. That'll be my starting point. So typically if your chain has an odd number of drive links or an odd number of links in it, you can find a spot where there's either 2 cutting teeth in a row on the same side, or like this chain here, we got a double blank space. So I am gonna just start right here in front of this double, and we'll do the right side of the chain and see how it goes. Well, that works pretty good. All right, I changed my mind. I think I'm going to move up to the medium-sized bit here. This one's kind of digging in a little bit much. A little bit too much. I'm going to switch to the medium-sized bit. But like I said, that's why we're learning on this chain. This chain is it's about done anyways. It's a piece of junk chain. And I've already used a 7/32 on it, so we'll just bump that up a little bit here. All right. All right, let's give that a try. That one was really digging in too much. I can just tell that one was eating right into the metal and not really rounding it out like I want to, so. Whoa, malfunction. This thing just flew out of here. All right. I guess you got to get them in tight. That could be dangerous. Let me get some eye protection on. That was a kind of a wake-up call. All right, safety first. I don't want that to happen. If that bit goes flying out at 8,000 RPMs or whatever, that ain't gonna be good. So we got eye protection. Now I not getting any sparks off of this thing, and it's kind of weird. But man, that is fast, and it does look sharp to me. I think it's going to work. And man, that is a lot easier. I'm slipping out of these teeth a little bit. These little tiny teeth, there's just nothing to them. So I'm kind of slipping out of them every now and then. I mean, these teeth right here are just down to nothing. I mean, I don't know if this chain will cut again or not. These teeth are pretty much trash. Okay, and that was one side already done. So, all right, that went good. Now I got to switch sides. So let me just come over here. I'll stand up and do this one. It goes pretty fast. So there's my double links. Yeah, this chain is really far gone. I don't know if that will cut again or not. It's just down all the way back to the little post on it here. I'll give it a try and see though, that's for sure. Okay, that's it. That was my first time, and I'm done. So, now you can see how much metal that thing took out of there. It was working, but these teeth are just really far gone. I mean, it's hard to tell on the camera, but they're just really far gone. Now, it does feel sharp, and you can see how much metal it took out of it there. You got way down into the gullet. But this chain is so far gone. I mean, these little itty bitty teeth on this little small MS-180 chain, there's not much left to them, but look how clean that is. I mean, it put a nice shiny edge on it, and it feels real sharp. So it might cut a little bit more wood. It did put an edge on them, so I'm going to give this, it feels pretty darn sharp. Now, I probably won't mess with the rakers on this saw. I've already taken them down a couple times. You can see that's flat right there. I'm going to leave these depth gauges alone. And I'm just going to go with it. I'm just going to try to cut with that. That was a good practice round. This diamond bit, I don't know how I feel about it. It's not sparking at all or anything, which typically you see with metal on metal or a grinding wheel. It's also, I don't know if you can see it. It's also, it looks like it's pretty much spent already. See how that, the coating just came right off of it. I don't know if you can kind of tell, if you can see that. You can kind of tell though, it's, the texture on that is already gone. So for $4 or whatever it is, those diamond bits, they'll probably get some sharpening done, but if it's probably like you might get one chain out of it, one sharpen out of it, and then those are going to be gone. So I think there's other bits out there. I know Oregon makes some. You can get the stone bits instead of the diamond bits, and I think those might be like solid all the way through. The whole bit, if you know what I'm saying, is made out of sharpening material. So as it wears down, it continues to sharpen. This diamond bit, I think that might be the difference. You know, I'm just talking, but that's what it looks like to me. If you saw that bit, it looks like the diamond bits just have like a diamond dust coating on the outside of a steel rod. And once that diamond dust wears off, you just have a smooth rod in there. So the stone bits may be the way to go. I mean, it might be worth paying a little more money and doing that, but those are like, I think they come in a 3-pack there, and it's like, you know, you're going to pay 8 or 10 or 12 bucks for 3 of them, whereas I paid like $6, whatever. It was like $5.99 or $4.99 or something for 25 of these diamond bits. So you be the judge of that. I can maybe talk more about that later. Subscribe to the channel and follow along. I'll talk more about the Dremel and the sharpening and the bits and what I've learned as I get the experience. So follow along on the journey, and I'll talk about more of it later. We'll get out and do some cutting with this thing one day in the upcoming videos, and I'll buy some stone bits in the future and probably use those, but I mean, I have these diamond bits to use now. So just anyways, it'll all come in time, and we'll learn as we go. But so far, it's going to be a good deal. That went really fast. That was my first time doing it, and it only took 5 minutes or so. You can look at the YouTube video. We'll try to get a timer on it. All right, now I also went ahead and I brought in my Stihl 025, and I'm going to just go ahead and run this Dremel across that chain too and make sure it's ready to cut next time. It's doing pretty good, but it never hurts to go ahead and have everything nice and sharp. So I brought this in, and I just wanted to make another few points. I bought the corded Dremel that's electric powered just because I want it to work when I need it. I want the power there. I don't want to have to worry about recharging batteries and all that. And it's also the longevity of it might be better as well. If those batteries, they're nice, but they do go bad after a couple years, and then you'll be spending $20 or $30 or $40. They're not cheap on new lithium-ion batteries or whatever they are. In fact, I have a lawnmower that's the lithium-ion, and I may have to buy batteries for that, and it's not going to be cheap because it takes 2 of them. Anyways, The only thing is those batteries would be really nice if you were out in the field working and you didn't have access to power. You could use the battery powered, but like I said, they're going to go bad. I don't know how long they run. This takes a good 5 minutes or 5 to 8 minutes of solid run time to keep it going. So I wanted the corded version. I think it'll last longer. The power's there when you need it, and I'm usually around some type of power source. And then, you know, you can also just make sure you sharpen your chains at home before you go out cutting, and you're usually pretty good to go. And then if you have to hand file or you gotta find some electricity somewhere, you can sharpen your chain if you happen to run into a nail or something. I hit a piece of plastic in a pile the other day. It was hidden underneath some logs, and that kind of ruined my saw edge a little bit there. But things happen. But also, it kind of ruins your tailgate too. You could probably tell a firewood guy from several things with their truck. But if you're constantly jamming a chainsaw bar into the corner of your tailgate, it takes the paint out of your truck and everything in the corner there. And I mean, it's not a real noticeable area, but it does kind of give me that, kind of gives me a cringe feeling there, shoving the tip of that bar into the corner of my tailgate. It will scratch it up, and that's something else to consider. But so I really think this is going to be a good deal. I am going to eventually get some of those stone bits. I think those are the way to go for longevity. These little diamond things are just smoothing right off, and you just got a smooth steel rod. So you can probably, like I said, you'll get one chain sharpen out of a diamond bit, and it's pretty much shot. But I got, I think there's actually 24 of them in that package. So I guess there's probably 6 of each size. Now those really small ones, I have 6 of those small, tiny size. Those are basically going to be too small. I mean, if you were in an emergency situation, you could probably get a chain sharpened up a little bit with those little small ones. Especially if you know what you're doing, you could probably kind of try to move it around and hit the top plate and move it around to the side plate in the working corner. But they are too small, so I got 6 of the 7/32 and 6 of the medium size. Pardon me, I don't remember what it is right now, so I'll run through those, and that'll take me several months or so. That'll give me plenty of time, plenty of cutting to do, and then I'll start buying those stone bits, and we'll try the stone bits. I think that's about all I wanted to mention for now. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up this saw. It takes me 5 or 7 minutes or so to do this, but I probably will get better with time, and also those stone bits might sharpen a little better too, because if you start wearing the coating off of these diamonds, they just aren't taking the material off. And that if you can save a few seconds on each tooth or whatever, you know, you can get it even better. So I'm going to go ahead and sharpen this up, and then again follow along, and we'll take it out in the field and do some cutting with it here sometime coming up in one of the next videos. The next wood I cut will have these freshly sharpened chains on it. I'll see you guys next time.